Carolina Panthers, the coaching staff, all-star coaching, right? You all can't see it because this is radio, and even if you're on our WRAL Sports Fan video stream, it's focused on me at the moment. Dennis gave air quotes when I said all-star coaching. He went full Dr. Evil lasers, all-star coaching staff. Is this a situation where the Frank Reich of it all needs to be more CEO than hands-on head coach? And I'm not just talking about – everyone wants to talk about him giving up play calling. And it's an interesting conversation. It's one that I'm probably one game away from having very, very serious conversations about. But here's the way I'm saying CEO. When you bring in so many accomplished assistants, I think the head coach has kind of done their job. Right? It's when you bring in the Jim Caldwells to be senior assistants, when you bring in the hottest ticket in town at so many of these assistant coaching positions like you did, I almost think you now have to put your hands back and let them do their job. Right? So if you were such a big fan of Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, and he comes from the Sean McVay coaching tree, right? I thought Chris Lee, WRAL sports reporter on the show, he joined us yesterday, said it well. He comes from a Sean McVay offense. A Sean McVay offense is a creative offense. We haven't seen much creativity here. Why not let him inject that part of the offense? Right? Deuce Staley's been a very accomplished running backs coach. He was a very accomplished running back before that. If the running game's not getting going, why not let him take over some of that? If Jim Caldwell wants to take a leadership role, where does he fit in? If you have an offensive coordinator, a head coach that's also an offensive mind, and now you have this senior offensive assistant, where does he fit in? I think Reich might need to step back a bit. And that's not necessarily saying like, hey, he has to give up play calling. Maybe it's telling everybody else, I am mostly going to focus on the play calling. And everything else I need you guys to cover because you're accomplished and competent enough to do that. Sometimes it's like, you bring – I don't know if this is the best example, but do you remember, I think it was the 2004 Lakers, where it was Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Shaq, Kobe, and they didn't win the title that year. Part of it is like, you know what? I don't know if you need all that star power. I think Kobe needs 30 shots a game, right? And you know what? Shaq needs 30 shots a game.
Sometimes the solution is simple.
And they weren't struggling when they didn't have Karl Malone and Gary Payton. So maybe bringing in more mouths to feed meant Kobe and Shaq don't get in a rhythm. Or maybe one of them gets in a rhythm and the other gets mad at the other one because they didn't get the shots. You brought in all these all-star coaches. I think, you need Chris Bosh to say, I'll stand in the corner. You guys handle it. You need Kevin Love to say, yeah, I used to be a rebounding and scoring machine. I'm going to be a 3-and-D wing for a couple years just so Kyrie and LeBron can eat. You need somebody to take that step back, and I think Frank Reich would be the logical option just because, he's not going to lose his spot. He's the head coach.